it's a very desirable pick, especially if you can get it unprotected, because LeBron is going to be gone. Anthony Davis is going to be older. Who knows where the Lakers are going to be in 2027. What they're focused on, from what I am told, is Taylor Horton-Tucker trades. And by the way, Horton-Tucker, one of the only bright spots from the Lakers game last night. He played one of his best games in the second half of the season. They have talked to Toronto. Toronto wanted Taylor Horton-Tucker last year in a Kyle Lowry trade. And had the Lakers made that trade, we would be having a different conversation today. But that's in the past. They're talking to some other teams for Horton-Tucker as well. They're looking for young wing players, or at least versatile wing players. Right. What Toronto has to offer is Goran Dragic and a first-round pick. Right. The Lakers would have to retrade that somewhere else, so that's complicated. But the reason I think the Lakers need to do something is if you watch the game last night, their morale and momentum is DOA. So they need to do something to get this team reinvigorated, and then you make the best of the Westbrook situation, and maybe then deal with it in the summer.
Okay, let's get down to this, okay? I appreciate that insight, Wendy. Thank you so much. The Los Angeles Lakers are an unmitigated disaster. They are a mess. They are going to cost people their jobs, their livelihoods. And in the midst of all of that, players who are getting paid won't deserve to get paid. But they'll get their money anyway, which is why the next round of collective bargaining agreements collective bargaining negotiations between the owners and the players is something that is going to be must-see TV in terms of us talking about it, because these owners are coming for them. The fact that you got guys taking time off, the fact that you got guys that don't want to follow rules and regulations, the fact that you got guys that are being lackadaisical at their discretion, picking and choosing when they want to play, how they want to play, et cetera, instead of being committed to doing their damn jobs. The owners are coming for them. And I've always just called it down the middle, just the way that I see it, et cetera. But some of these dudes, if the players end up getting the short end of the stick, they will have deserved it, because just some of the shenanigans simply cannot be tolerated. It's bad for the game. Last night, specifically, let's get to this game. How the hell do you lose to the Portland Trailblazers? No Damian Lillard, no C.J. McCollum, no Robert Covington, no Norman Powell, and you lost to the Portland Trailblazers. Let me just read some of the names. This guy, C.J. Ellaby, Justice Winslow on his third team or fourth team in the last 3 years. Nurkic, don't get me started with his no defense playing self. Ben McLemore, that was their starters, okay? Dennis Smith Jr., he's been all around the league in just 5 years. Greg Brown III, Trendon Watford. This is who beat the Lakers. This is who beat the Lakers. Now, last time I checked, Big Perk, Anthony Davis played last night. LeBron James played last night. We can't blame Russell Westbrook. That brother was sitting on the bench with a chill hat, by the way. I actually like this hat. I'm sorry. He was sitting on the bench. Can't blame this for him. LeBron James had 6 turnovers last night. And then in the post-game conference, what does he sit up there and say? Man, it's in a fog and all of this other stuff. I just want to go and drink some wine and relax. If that don't sound like a team with its star that said, this season's a wash. We ain't going nowhere. It's pretty much over. I don't know what the hell does. At the end of the day, Frank Vogel's going to pay a price. He doesn't deserve it. But he'll probably pay a price. You can't, unless a miracle happens and you're able to get rid of Russell Westbrook's contract, $47 million called for next year. And by the way, while we sitting there talking, Jeannie Buss, the wonderful. She
is wonderful.
Jeannie Buss. Love Jeannie Buss. But Linda Rambis and Kurt Rambis cannot be influential figures in your basketball operation. Now, I like Kurt Rambis as a person. But damn it, you weren't Magic, Worthy, and Kareem and them when you were playing. Don't get me started to what you were as a coach or an executive. And somehow, some way, don't even know what your title is, because Rob Pelinka's supposed to be the GM. No wonder Magic Johnson quit. No wonder he said y'all kick rocks. No wonder he told the Lakers organization, I'm done. I can't take it no more because of the nonsense that's going on with your organization. Who the hell is running it? Who's the boy? Well, LeBron James, he's responsible for this roster now. He had something to do with this. Rob Pelinka, Mr. Pleaser, how's that working out for you? And Linda and Kurt Rambis? Kurt Rambis? I don't know, Linda. I'm sure she's a wonderful lady and she's good friends with Jeannie, and Jeannie listens to her best friend. I got no issues with Linda at all. Don't know her, wish her nothing but the best. But I know Kurt Rambis, in terms of your resume, what the hell is he doing helping to make basketball decisions? Where he sit up there and says, "Oh, we gonna pick your coaching staff for you." It's a mess. It's embarrassing. And the only reason the Lakers are relevant is because of tradition and history. Right. No wonder Magic Johnson quit on y'all asses. Go ahead, KP.
Well, first of all, Stephen A., I don't know why you even getting worked up, and I don't even know why the world was surprised that the Lakers lost last night to that Portland Trailblazers team. I came on here 2 months ago and told you that the Lakers were trash. I told you I didn't want to talk about them. I told you they wasn't a very good basketball team.
LeBron won out after the season.
He should damn sure think about it, I'll tell you that much. But I'll say this, a couple of things that I think that are important. Russell Westbrook was hilarious right there. He was absolutely hilarious. Please don't get me wrong. And I know he didn't mean it the way that it was coming across. But when you're struggling the way that he has struggled and the way the team has struggled, for this particular franchise, that's going to be taken differently. And him being a Los Angeles native should know that. If you're in Oklahoma City, you can do that because we know what he meant to that franchise. But the Lakers are a different animal with championship expectations every year that this team hasn't come close to living up to. And a lot of people point at him. So I just wish he'd guard himself because he'll end up getting criticized for it when it's not deserved, because I know he didn't mean anything by it. But just be careful with that. The other thing I want to say is this. Should LeBron consider wanting out of Los Angeles? Sure he should. I don't think he will because La La is different than Lake Erie, and I certainly understand that. But the flip side to it, y'all, is this. LeBron delivered the championship. And last time I checked, he's playing like an MVP candidate. The one person who should never be booed by the Los Angeles Lakers fan is LeBron James. No matter what, no matter how bad it is, no matter how good it is, this man has been a model of consistency, professionalism, and greatness for the Los Angeles Lakers. I think we all can look at LeBron's play on the court. If you wanted to get on him for the roster, that's a different matter. But looking at LeBron James' play on the court, can we seriously sit here and look at him and find fault with how he has played? I can't. I watched him all year long. And I'm not saying he's perfect every moment because, of course, he's not. But you talk about a dude that is playing hard, is going all out, and producing digits. 29, 6, and 7? I mean, that's what he's averaging on 51.9% shooting, on nearly 35% shooting from three-point range at age 37 in his 19th season, half the time without Anthony Davis. This is not the person that Los Angeles Laker fans should be booing because he committed a turnover. That's what they did last night. And I would say to the Los Angeles Lakers fans, who I love dearly, Laker Nation, but mind your manners and watch yourself because LeBron has not cheated you. He has not done that. Remember where you were before he arrived and what you accomplished within 2 years after his arrival. I can't believe they got me defending LeBron James, but he deserves it here.
Well, you know what? You're about 50% right on some of the things that you said, and then the other stuff, I don't even know how you uttered it out your mouth. Okay, so because here's the simple fact. It wasn't about what LeBron James has did overall for the Los Angeles Lakers. It wasn't about what LeBron James has done up to this point of the season. They was booing LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers about last night. And if you watched the game last night, LeBron James, yes, he had 30-some points or whatever the case may be, but his body language stunk. It was horrible from the start of the game. His body language, and then it went all the way down to the last man, like the hanging of the head, the pouting, They're not getting back in transition. He deserved to get booed. And you know what happened? In the first quarter, in the second quarter, LeBron was non-existent. Then all of a sudden, they started booing him late in the third quarter. And in the fourth quarter, he decided to start playing hard. So he doesn't get a pass at all. Now, should he want out later on down the line? But he can't want out after this season. Remember, you
got
came on
another year
here
to go.
time and time again. Remember, you came on here time and time again saying that he helped put this roster together.
That's true.
So if you made this bed, you have to lay in it. And the world knows how I feel about my brother LeBron James that I grew up with since the 7th grade. But accountability is accountability. And we cannot let him off the hook for this mess that is going on in Los Angeles. Although he has been playing well this season, in particular, last night, his body language was horrible. And as the leader of that team, he cannot do that.
I won't lie. I was watching the game last night in and out of a sleep nap because I knew I had to be here. And I was like, is that another turnover? Is that another turnover? Is that C.J. McCollum knocking down a three? Are they going to put up any sort of resistance? At one point, I legit thought I was watching a sketch of how bad the Lakers have been this season, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to split the difference between the two of you, Perk and Stephen A. I think that LeBron should explore options to leave. Because if there's anybody in the league that has the cachet to make a mess and just kind of walk away, it would be LeBron James. And I think when we look at the arc of his career, he has not been bashful about wanting to be in the best position for whatever his goals are, both personally and professionally. Now, I understand that LA aligns with all of the other things he's doing off the basketball court, but really quick anecdotal story. When we were out at All-Star, one of the security guards just, chopping it up, chatting with him, he made the point that Kobe will always be the king of LA and that LeBron is the king of Cleveland. I understand that he says he wants to stay put, but I see this as a fluid situation because to me, in terms of the legacy and what he means to the state of Ohio, that should be something that is worth exploring down the road. But as far as this season goes, we knew how bad this team was in this last night. Is it the basement? Could it get worse?
We got to move on, but I'm going to say this. KP, you're absolutely right when you talk about the point of him assembling the roster. No disagreement there. I was just saying if it gets to a point where Laker Nation is lumping you in with the likes of Russell Westbrook, for example, or anybody else that they want to boo, that's a problem, and it should be a problem for LeBron James because last night, notwithstanding, the vast majority of this season, we've seen him do what he's